It is the day after so-called Liberation Day, and countries around the world are reacting, as are the markets. An absolute meltdown today, the worst day on the markets in 5 years. There is fallout south of the border and overseas, but we begin tonight with political reaction here in Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney hitting back on U.S. auto tariffs with a 25% counter tariff on American vehicles not compliant with the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. Canada is already seeing the tariff impact on the auto industry. Stellantis is pausing production at its assembly plant in Windsor for 2 weeks. Starting Monday, there will be temporary layoffs on both sides of the border as a result. And Trump's latest round of tariffs have sent markets around the world reeling. The worst day on the market since 2020, as economic fears are rattling investors. CTV's Kimberley Fowler has been tracking reaction to all of this today and joins us now with that. Kimberley.
Well, Patricia, although Canada was spared new tariffs yesterday, we didn't emerge unscathed as the tariffs on vehicles came into effect and the levy on steel and aluminum remains in place. Now, today, Mark Carney, acting in his capacity as Prime Minister, calling Trump's announcement unjustified, unwarranted, and misguided, and promising to fight back.
As I told President Trump during our call last week, Canada will respond to the U.S. auto tariffs. And today I'm announcing that the Government of Canada will be responding by matching the U.S. approach, with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement, and on the non-Canadian content of CUSMA-compliant vehicles from the United States as well.
And reacting on the campaign trail today, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre in Eastern Ontario, speaking in Kingston, shared his plans to fight Donald Trump's new tariffs against Canadians, announcing, if elected, his government will eliminate the federal sales tax on Canadian-made automobiles.
Axing the GST on a $50,000 Canadian-made automobile will save $2,500 to the car buyer. By saving cash-strapped Canadians' families their hard-earned money, we will increase demand for Canadian-made cars and keep more workers on the job.
And campaigning in Ottawa, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is offering another idea similar to measures Canada had during the Second World War on how Canadians can do their part to support the economy.
This is an opportunity for Canadians to invest in our country. In fact, during the World War, victory bonds raised more revenue than taxes because Canadians were so committed to doing their part. So right now, for Canadians who are wondering, how can I contribute? A victory bond would be a guaranteed investment where you would purchase a bond, a 5-year or 10-year, and if you hold it to maturity, you would get all the revenue tax-free.
And Ontario Premier Doug Ford also reacting to Trump's so-called Liberation Day, reiterating that Canada negotiates through strength and not weakness. Here's some of what he had to say before today's Premier meeting with the Prime Minister.
I'm glad that we're bringing the temperature down. It was absolutely essential that everyone just cools out a little bit and think straight, because as the President mentioned yesterday, you saw the list of all the countries. He has bigger issues than targeting his closest friends and allies, but we're going to continue communicating with our counterparts in the U.S.
Again, while Canada has been spared from additional tariffs, the overall sentiment hasn't changed much with the leaders. Speaking today as Prime Minister, Mark Carney emphasized that Canada remains a U.S. ally and that Canada's counter tariffs on the U.S. automobiles are expected to raise about $8 billion, which will be used to assist Canadian workers. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Kimberley Fowler live for us tonight. Thank you.